Over the last day or so, we have seen the U.S. hammer away at Iran alongside Israel, but also the Iranians haven't given up. So we're going to take a look and see what's going on around today. First, CENTCOM released as of March 18th. They've struck over 7,800 targets, completed over 8,000 combat flights, and destroyed over 120 Iranian vessels that are either damaged or destroyed. Now, just a few hours ago, CENTCOM put this video out saying that they're continuing to destroy Iranian vessels that threaten the Strait of Hormuz. Obviously, the Strait has been a key topic over the last couple weeks as we've seen shipping just completely grind to a halt in that region, as well as a number of vessels and key port facilities being struck by Iranian one-way attack drones and ballistic missiles. Remember, about 20 million barrels of oil used to pass through this strait each and every day. That's about 5% of the world's daily consumption. So obviously a very critical facility, a critical choke point that's only about 50 nautical miles wide at its narrowest. Now, we are putting out a video on the GBU-72, which is one of America's newest bunker buster bombs that was utilized just yesterday by CENTCOM. We'll talk about that a little bit too in this video, but if we look around the Gulf, it does appear that the neighbors are kind of getting irritated, and I use that term obviously loosely. They're getting really pissed. They're definitely taking a big hit, not only to loss of life, injuries, but to the economic piece of this. So first, I want to look over to Qatar, and this is one of the major energy industrial cities in northern or just north of Doha. This is the Laffan industrial city, main production site for liquefied natural gas and gas to liquid. It's the largest export terminal for LNG in the world and has been heavily targeted by ballistic missiles fired by Iran, with extensive damage to the site and several facilities that are now being reported by Qatar Energy. So clearly this can only go on for so long before you just further escalate and drive people into this conflict. And I'd like to take a listen to what Saudi is saying about this. This was on March 18th as well. So this is their finance minister, Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud. Probably butchering that, but let's hear what he has.
The main point here is that the Iranians continue to target economic resources and continue to the livelihoods of ordinary Saudis. Now, when I see an attack today, 2 refineries in Riyadh were attacked. What's the purpose of that? What possible military purpose can you have for attacking a refinery in a non-combatant? The Iranians will have to understand.
So you go, this will have consequences. We heard the Iranians say early in this that they were only going after U.S. military personnel, bases in the region, or entities, facilities that allowed U.S. personnel to conduct operations against Iran. Clearly, we have talked about, it seemed a little odd that they were going after civilian infrastructure, going after economic components of all these different nations. Who knows what the Saudis are going to do? But as you start reading between the lines and interpreting there, it seems like it's only going to continue for so long before they don't get further drawn into this conflict in order to protect their economic interest in the region. Because Iran is clearly going after key components of the economy of these various Gulf nations. Additionally, the UAE has announced its gas production is now near zero, and operations at all major natural gas facilities have been suspended. So clearly, this just continues to escalate and seems to get worse and worse by the day. So now, not only do we have basically oil production, gas production drastically reduced, if not brought to near zero output from these countries, it can't get out if it could because they can't transit the Strait of Hormuz, or they have to go through a lot of elaborate different logistical hurdles in order to get it to a port that maybe, or just maybe be able to get it to a port that they can export it to the world. So again, big problem sets here. Now, the U.S. continues to hammer away and focusing on the Strait of Hormuz. One of the new weapons that has been utilized in this conflict is the GBU-72. This is a 5,000-pound penetrator bomb. It was first used in Yemen about 2 years ago, but this is the first time we've seen it used in the Iranian conflict. Supposedly, this was utilized against Iranian underground missile facilities along the Strait of Hormuz, as well as fortified Iranian anti-ship cruise missile facilities. Now, likely this strike was either conducted by F-15E Strike Eagles or the B-1B Lancers. We know this is the platform the Air Force has acknowledged is capable of carrying this new penetrator ordnance. And again, the DoD is going after these Iranian ballistic missile and drone facilities. This is a big problem set. We're not going to see it solved overnight, clearly. I don't think anyone is that naive to think that, but we'll continue to keep it apprised. If you're curious about how this might impact the U.S. basing. We just put that on a newsletter yesterday, which is absolutely free, and I have that link down below. So if you like this type of content and you like newsletters, I encourage you to check that out. Again, it's absolutely free and won't spam you. Trust me, because I can only put out so many of those. But check that out. That's linked down below, and I'll see you next time.